old is your son?
My son is 5 months old. Yeah.
And your daughter's 2? Okay.
Almost 3.
Almost 3. Okay, so you have 2 kids.
I do. Yeah, I have 2 kids. And I wanted to talk to you about this actually because I feel like, and I don't know if you publicly talk about how you welcomed your children in your life and your journey to become a mother. The first time we met was at Trisha Helfer's house.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Your baby was just born.
Yeah, Henry.
And it is
first one,
Henry, the first one. And that was the first time that I had ever contemplated or heard of or met somebody who had their children via surrogacy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the first time you'd heard of it?
Well, I'd heard of it, but it
kind of felt like...
I don't know. It felt foreign. I didn't know anything about it other than I knew what surrogacy was. Of course I did. But I think like most people, not that I had judgments, but that I was like, oh, this is how other people welcome children sometimes.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Even though I knew that I couldn't carry my own children.
Oh.
So I was like, and then I met you and was like, oh, I could potentially go down this road and be a mom this way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
How did you find out that you weren't able to carry a child? If you don't mind me asking.
Went to the doctor. No, totally fine. I went to the doctor to freeze my eggs. And I had gone to a clinic before and they had jacked me up on all this medication to do the egg retrieval. And I pulled out before the egg retrieval because I was suicidal.
Whoa.
The medication.
From the medication.
That they put me on and what they did to me, I called Trisha Helfer and I said, I can't be alone right now. Something's going on with me. I feel like a crazy person. I don't know what to do. And she's like, I'll be right there. And I stopped taking all of the medication.
Yeah.
Went to another doctor who was like, oh my gosh, well, they did not do what they're supposed to do. They didn't do it the right way. The first one I went to was like this, it was like literally like I felt like I was in an egg factory. He really didn't talk to me, just sort of jacked me up on all these hormones and like left me to my own devices. And this new doctor that I found while we were going through the whole discussion about freezing my eggs and doing all of the health checkups and the scans and the checking my heart and checking my everything and checking my ovaries and making sure I was healthy. She literally said to me, did he ever mention that you probably shouldn't carry your own children based on your health history? And I was like, no. And she was like, okay, well, you have all of these issues. And if you had 1 or 2 of them, I'd be like, okay, we can work around it. You're still in your mid-30s. But she's like, you have all of them. You've got, you know, a heart thing and a uterus thing and a pituitary thing. And you had cancer 10 years ago and like all of these things. And she's like, I don't think that it's going to be in your best interest to try to carry.
It's crazy also that you had cancer and that they put you on all those hormones.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know, it was crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
That just seems unwise.
It was very unwise. And so I found a doctor who was incredibly conservative with the amount of hormones that she gave me while I was doing my egg retrievals.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. But that's how I found out, was she was like, you shouldn't be carrying your own children anyway.
Well, I realized I wasn't going to be able to carry any children when I was being diagnosed because I had like 12 fibroids.
Oh my God.
That were golf ball size.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? And I didn't understand why I always kind of looked pregnant, you know, like
bloated?
A little bit. Yeah. And then I had that dealt with, but they said, given the fact that they're still there. They're just shrinking. And once you hit menopause, then they will get even smaller. But they cut off the blood supply to them before I hit menopause, just so that they would shrink.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's they went and did it's like a pulmonary artery, oh my gosh, somebody will figure it out. But it's like,
somebody will figure
it's like
it
an
out,
embolism, like they stop the blood flow. And so then, and that's when they said, well, and I was of advanced age. I was like 46, 47, 48. And they said, if you carry the child, you have 50% chance of miscarrying. And for 100%, you're going to be on bed rest for 6 months. And I was working on Lucifer at this time when we were going through all of this. And I was like, well, that I can't really do that. That's my income. And doing suits and traveling and everything. So we went ahead and did made embryos. And then we're lucky enough to have 2 successful transfers. Like each transfer took with each surrogate. We had 2 different surrogates for each child. And my boys are like, they're like, oh, what was it like when you carried us in your belly? And and I'm like, well, like the long story short is I said, well, it's kind of like if you've made these great cookies and you want to bake them in the oven and you realize that your oven isn't working properly, but you want your cookies to be so delicious and be cooked perfectly. So you have to put them in someone else's oven, even though they're your cookies. And that cookie analogy has seemed to work great for them, because now they just say, oh no, my mommy's tummy was broken.
Yeah, that's what my daughter says. My daughter says that because we got one surrogacy book for Ginny when we were going through our second journey, and read it to her every single night, and like how, and basically the book is surrogacy's in the book, but the majority of the book is just about how the right baby finds the right family in a multitude of different ways. And
I want to get that book. I want you to write it down and send it to me. Yeah.
I will. Yeah. Because it is the only book that we found about surrogacy that we thought was really good, actually, and engaging for a young child.
Katie, I think we have a book to write.
We do, because there's no book that explains the whole thing, because we do the same thing too. Like mommy's tummy was broken. And so mommy and daddy made an egg, and we had to, an amazing lady let us, borrow her tummy, and she knows her surrogate. She knows our son Granger's surrogate. Like she's been really involved, and it was really helpful. And so now she completely understands it. Like she really understands that not all babies, grow in their mommy's tummies. Yeah. It's really crazy. But we very similar, two embryos, two different surrogates, and they were both healthy transfers.
Yeah. And 2 years apart.
2.5 years apart. What are your boys?
Our boys are 2 years apart. Like Henry was 2016, and Otto was 2018. And their birthdays, like Henry's birthday's in July 2016, and Otto is August of 2018. So they were they're totally 2 years apart.